We're told each big square below represents one whole. Express the shaded area as both a mixed number and a decimal. So pause this video and see if you can do that. What would this be as a mixed number, and then what would it be as a decimal? All right, now let's do it together. So let's first start with the mixed number. So we see that we have one whole here. The whole thing is filled out. So this is going to be one whole. And then over here we have part of this second whole filled out. And it looks like we are dividing this whole into 10 equal sections. And then 2 of those are filled out. So as a mixed number, we have 1, and then you have 2 of the tenths filled out. So this is going to be 1 and 2 tenths. And we're done. You can see here, this is split into tenths, and we filled in 2 of them. Now, what about as a decimal? Well, we could just express 1 and 2 tenths as a decimal. We could say, hey, that's going to be 1. And then we get to the tenths place. And then how many tenths do we have? We have 2 of them. So that's going to be 1.2. Let's do another example. So here, this is a little bit more involved. They say, once again, each big square below represents one whole. And once again, they want us to express the shaded area as both a fraction and a decimal. So pause this video and have a go at this. All right, so let's start with a fraction again. So we have one whole, 2 wholes, and then partially shaded in this third whole. So if I'm going to express this as a fraction, really it's going to be a mixed number. I would say that this over here, this is 2 wholes. Now this third whole is only partially filled in, and we can see that it has been divided into hundredths. You can see it's a 10 by 10 grid, so each of these squares represent 1/100th of a whole. And how many of these hundredths are filled in? Well, let's see, you have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and then you have 70, 1, 2, 3, 4. We can see that 74 of the hundredths are filled in. So as a mixed number, this whole thing would represent 2 and 74 hundredths. Now if we want to write it as a decimal, we would have 2 wholes. And then we could go to the tenths place. You could just write 2 and 74 hundredths like that if you're pretty familiar with it. You could also think about it in terms of how many tenths and how many hundredths do you have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tenths. And then we have 4 more hundredths beyond that. So you could think of it as 74 hundredths or 7 tenths and 4 hundredths. But either way, we are done.